Welcome to our channel, Daily Philosophy Quotes. Hello, I'm Alex, and today we'll be talking about the famous and influential philosopher, Jeremy Bentham. But before we begin his story, I'd like to share one of his most famous quotes. The rarest of human qualities is consistency. Now, let's dive into the story of his life. Jeremy Bentham was born in London in 1748 into a wealthy family, and he was an absolute child prodigy. Reportedly, he was reading multi-volume histories by the age of 3, and he was sent to Oxford University at the astonishing age of just 12. Though he trained as a lawyer, he quickly grew frustrated with the complex, inconsistent, and what he saw as unjust English legal system. He never actually practiced law, choosing instead to dedicate his entire life to writing and advocating for radical legal and social reform. Bentham's biggest and most lasting contribution is his founding of the ethical theory known as Utilitarianism. He published his seminal work, An Introduction to the Principles of Morals and Legislation, in 1789. At its core, utilitarianism is incredibly simple. It argues that the morally right action is the one that produces the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. He famously stated, "Nature has placed mankind under the governance of two sovereign masters, pain and pleasure." For Bentham, an action's morality is determined only by its consequences. Does it increase pleasure or decrease pain for the collective? This principle wasn't just abstract philosophy, it was a blueprint for action. Bentham was a champion of sweeping liberal reforms that were revolutionary for his time. He was one of the earliest advocates for the abolition of slavery, the right to divorce, and even equal rights for women, including the right to vote. He also famously extended his moral concern to animals, arguing that the key moral question is not can they reason, or can they talk, but can they suffer? Another of Bentham's most famous, or perhaps infamous projects was the Panopticon. This was an architectural design for a prison, where a single watchman could observe all the inmates without them knowing if they were being watched or not. His idea was that the possibility of constant surveillance would enforce discipline. Though never widely adopted in its original form, the concept of the Panopticon has been profoundly influential in discussions about surveillance and power, even in the modern digital age. Jeremy Bentham died in 1832 at the age of 84, but his influence lived on through his disciples, known as the philosophical radicals, who were instrumental in pushing through British political reform. And in a final, quirky display of his rationalist anti-superstition principles, Bentham left instructions that his body should be preserved and displayed what he called his auto-icon. You can still see his fully clothed skeleton and wax head at University College London today. Bentham's tireless effort to apply a single, consistent principle, the pursuit of happiness, to all aspects of law and society, truly makes him a towering figure in philosophy and reform. Thank you for joining me, Alex, on Daily Philosophy Quotes. What is your favorite Bentham reform? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.